Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you are subscribed to the Substack DaftOnDraft.football, where you will get access to all of these charts on Google Drive for every quarterback in the class, access to insider information on the Discord channel, film rooms every single week, live chartings every single week, big boards, positional rankings, more and more. So make sure you are tuned in.
Welcome to the NFL Draft.
Welcome back into the Daft on Draft podcast presented by FanDuel. As always, Corey and James here. And as we've been doing the past few weeks here, we have a mock draft Monday night as we're recording, but Tuesday as we publish here. So the draft order picks 1 through 18 are set. So we're going to roll through here and, picks through 1 through 18. Here we go. Of course, wildcard weekend changes some things. But as it's set now, we're good to roll. So James is going to take evens here. I'm going to take odds. Before we do that, James, how was your weekend? How was your weekend of NFL football? It's actually a pretty decent slate.
Yeah, weekend was good. Caught up on actually Ole Miss's offense tape. That was my big film study that I was doing this week. That performance against Georgia in the quarterfinals, I was like, all right, enough sleeping on Harrison Wallace, enough sleeping on Dazon Stribling, enough sleeping on Trinidad Chambliss, even though he's coming back to school, enough sleeping on Diego Pounds. So I've been studying the Ole Miss offense a lot the past couple of days. I don't think we'll be talking about any of them in the first round here, but
no.
Yeah, I'm pumped for this into the college football playoff and get into draft season.
Yeah, man. Dazon Stribling is like my draft crush right now. The past few episodes, I've mentioned him a lot.
Such a good run blocker.
Yes, and he takes 4-yard RPO hitches and chunks out 15 yards on him somehow, like consistently. Yeah. He's a lot of fun. But as you said, probably none of those guys coming off the board in this mock draft. But let's dive in here again. Picks 1 through 18 set in stone. I'm going to take evens. I'm going to take odds. James is going to take evens. First overall pick here. We're just going to keep it simple. Fernando Mendoza. I think after the Texas Tech tape wasn't as good as I was hoping or expected it to be for Dante Moore, I think there is a little bit of a gap being created there. And that difference maker for me, again, is that response to pressure. Every time Dante Moore is sped up, things start to break down a little bit. And that's a little dangerous. And so we'll see how it looks coming up here against Indiana again, round 2. If he continues to look a little rattled being sped up, then I might be okay with talking about him going back to school. And again, Oregon hasn't landed a quarterback commit yet, so I think they're kind of treading water too, to see kind of what's going on there. But we're going to go Fernando Mendoza first overall.
And pretty easy pick here for the Jets at 2. I am going to go Dante Moore. Yeah, obviously we'll see if he ends up going back to school. It's kind of, one of the prevailing kind of takes seems to be that he should go back to avoid being selected by the Jets. And that line of thinking to me is always so silly because
he could be selected by the
teams. Like the Jets have been picking in the top 5 my whole life. Like just like the Titans, just like the Browns. It's like these bad teams have a habit of picking highly in the draft. So I think I just don't think you should make your decisions based off of that. But I do agree with the response to pressure. And I think that this game, honestly, if there's a clear gap in how Mendoza and Moore play, I think that could be enough to change my quarterback one.
Yeah. And I said the Oregon quarterback thing. I've heard they have a quarterback that they have like waiting in the wings that they'll announce it as soon as Moore declares. So I think there is still like some consensus that Moore will declare, but we'll see. That could change here. 3rd overall, Arizona Cardinals. Sorry, friends, missed out on quarterback here. Boy, I'm already like, what do I do at 3rd overall? Arizona Cardinals here. I love Sonny Styles. He's the number 1 player on my board. Cardinals need a linebacker. Linebacker 3rd overall is really freaking early. That's really early. Dude, this is hard. Like, do we just go?
This class is rough.
It is. Like I legitimately, I'm frozen at 3rd overall here. Do they trade Marvin Harrison Jr. this offseason?
Could see that.
So if they do, we could go Tyson or Tate. We could also go Tyson or Tate regardless if they keep Marvin Harrison Jr. Boy, 3rd overall. Do you know what? I've been watching. Cardinal fans are gonna hate whatever I pick here. I'm pigeonholed. Whatever. I'm going on my board. He didn't play football this year. I've been watching Denzel Burke get cooked week on week on week here now for the Arizona Cardinals. Jermon McCoy, third overall. He didn't play football all year. Number 3 player on my board. He's excellent. First round grade. He's not going to go third overall. I feel backed into a corner. You're going to have to take it.
I was listening to First Draft with Field Yates and Mel Kiper, and they were saying like that. I think Mel was saying that he put Jermon McCoy like in a first round of a mock draft, and he got a lot of feedback from the NFL, like I think second round.
Interesting.
Which is shocking to me.
He's so good.
He's so good, like such a clean prospect.
Yes.
Anyways, I do agree with you, and I'm like having the same thoughts with the Titans, where I'm trying to think of, Sonny Styles. Like again, I agree. He's my top ranked player available, but when's the last first round linebacker that got a second contract?
Right, like Devin White didn't. Roquan.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, it's like the last 19 first round linebackers, there's like 1 or 2 second contracts, I think.
Patrick Queen did with the second team with a different team. But yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jordan Tyson here. I think that, the injuries scare me, but he is the best separator of these top 3 receivers, and kind of a blend of like the strengths of Mekhi Lemon and strengths of Carnell Tate. I think he's the most well-rounded option.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. What he can do in tight windows, people want to knock his physicality, but what he can do in tight windows is really fun to see too. I don't remember what game it was, but it was a dig route over the middle into a tight window, and he contorted his body back across his body and reeled it in. It was beautiful. I feel like Carnell Tate's the easy answer here to the Giants. We do it every freaking week. They don't need edge rushers. They don't need. Yeah, I mean, this is wide receiver. They got to get a receiver to pair with Malik Neighbors. And I think that because I mean, again, Wan'Dale Robinson's a free agent. Again, Wan'Dale Robinson's role is not stopping you from drafting a ball dominant wide receiver. Darius Slayton, a really good vertical threat, good like glue guy in a wide receiver room. Not a guy that's going to stop you from taking a wide receiver early. Jalen Hyatt, of course, is not stopping anybody from doing anything. So I'm going to go Carnell Tate here. And again, if you watch that Ohio State game and you think he was being soft over the middle of the field in that one rep, he was not. He was running a curl, not a freaking dig.
And he threw it his inside shoulder.
Inside shoulder. Yeah, it's a terrible ball. Carnell Tate. He's good.
I've never seen somebody run more routes that are like directly detrimental to the team than Jalen Hyatt. Like it's not that he runs routes that don't get open. He runs routes that telegraph where he's going to the defender, that like set up the defender's angle to get an interception. I mean, he's like screwed them over 2 or 3 times this year.
Yeah.
All right. Cleveland Browns. I mean, I'm not going to do this, but
if you say Ty Simpson, I
would Carson Schlesinger and Sonny Styles be the best linebacker duo of all time?
That would be a lot of fun. The issue is that Devin Bush has actually been playing really freaking good football, and I think they're going to give him a new contract.
Okay.
That's the bigger thing here. That sounds fun to me.
I'm not so at the top of the board, and I need to delete Trevor Gooseby, who returned to school. I'm going to have to go down the board to find positions that really fit here, but to me, Mekhi Lemon makes the most sense. Yeah, I mean, I think that we said it before. He fits the mold of exactly, the receivers that are producing in the NFL. It has all of the advanced technique that you need to succeed as a receiver of his size. What do you think? Do you think Lemon or Downs? I don't know. I mean, you can't do like my top ranked players are linebackers and edge rushers.
Right. And they have Alex Wright, who they just re-upped, and they have Myles Garrett. They're not taking another defensive tackle.
Fano?
There's part of me that thinks Fano. There's a part of me that thinks they could even, like, by the time the draft comes, it wouldn't shock me if Caleb Lomu had an excellent pre-draft process.
Yeah.
And came up to this point. Like, especially go to the combine and all that stuff. It wouldn't surprise me, given his athleticism, given his age, if Lomu was a even like talked about this high. It wouldn't shock me.
I still have Lomu as my OT1, so I will actually make an audible there and go with Caleb Lomu.
Love it. PFF is going to hate this pick based on their board, but I love it because Caleb Lomu is also my OT1. All right, Washington Commanders. This is where we can have some fun conversations with like Downs and Reese, who are kind of like you've got to have a role for them, right? If you watch a Caleb Downs highlight reel, everything's coming downhill. So you got to kind of have a role to fit there. And then Arvell Reese, we've talked about it, man. Like I'm growing more concerned about his like at the end of the year that his role didn't change even based on quarterback. Like they started playing quarterbacks who can't run down the end of the stretch there, and he still was spying or just not playing a lot of true linebacker read react kind of snaps. But I do think Washington's a team that could like I think Dan Quinn's a defensive coordinator that could get the most out of him coming off the edge there. As well as that linebacker. Again, Dan Quinn coached Micah Parsons, who kind of had the same situation come out of Penn State, has obviously way more fluid, but more compact, like sub 32-inch arms. But I tend to think that this would be the Arvell Reese landing spot here to go pair up with Dan Quinn here in Washington. He doesn't have a lot of reps at like Will, but like maybe he can do some of the fun stuff that Frankie Louvu is doing because Frankie Louvu is getting up there in age and he kind of moves all over the place and it is kind of just like a bat out of hell. So we're gonna go Arvell Reese to Washington.
Yeah, watching the quarterfinal tape, I actually thought Reese like had a decent game against Miami. Made more of an impact than I saw from the broadcast, like on our reaction episode. Saints, I think interior defender would be where I'm looking at here. Let's go Amari Washington.
Ooh, you're on board with Amari Washington now.
I'm on board that the NFL is gonna like him. I still have him as DT2. Yeah, he's late teens for me. I don't see the refinement. But I do like the lack of blue chip talent in this class. Like I really do think that Amari Washington, like I would say he would be like plus 50% chance to go in the top 10.
He's fun when he gets lateral down the line of scrimmage. He's a freaking
so explosive.
Explode.
He was literally, I've never seen somebody in the last week, I've never seen somebody launch out of their stance and get as much air off the line of scrimmage as he does. Like literally jumping in the air, like into his pass rush. It's crazy explosive, and then it just doesn't go anywhere because he doesn't have the hand technique. But
when he can convert speed to power, when he can get into the chest and convert, it's oh my god! Like the Washington tape, I've harped on the Washington tape now quite a bit, but that game, dude, he is unblockable in the Washington game. So I love it. The Chiefs here, they also need defensive line, like big time interior defensive line. I tend to think that the Chiefs are the kind of culture that takes Peter Woods in. I know Peter Woods had kind of a down year based off of expectation. And again, we've even said on this podcast that like the tape down the stretch just looks like a guy who might be a little checked out as well. But the Chiefs have a winning culture. The Chiefs are in a position to take a massive game changer. And then Chris Jones is getting up there in age as well. So I think this is a good spot for Peter Woods to come off the board.
What do you think his arms, how long do you think his arms are?
33-25.
I've got him at 32 and 7/8 as an estimate.
Okay. So we're not far off.
Yeah. I think the Bengals here, to me, David Bailey, I have become a lot more open to the idea of David Bailey being like a 2.5 down player, which I've heard Sean McDermott use that term. I like it to kind of describe guys that I think if you want to put them on the field on early downs, they can be on the field. But if you've got like a base end that's better at defending the run, you'd prefer to have him. So that's kind of how I view Bailey. But this past game against Oregon, it's as physical as he's been through contact. I think in both phases, I mean, was just like Isaiah World had no answer for him every time. So much jolt on impact every time he made contact with him. Won a few times with the long arm, still had the speed rush wins. So I will go with David Bailey here.
All right. We're going to roll David Bailey. Miami Dolphins. Man, we haven't drafted Sonny Styles yet, and I feel really horrible about that. I have a feeling you're about to this next pick, though. So, Miami Dolphins offensive scheme, and especially if Mike McDaniel is staying put, which it seems like he is, they're the kind of scheme that an offensive lineman with some deficiencies in terms of physicality and size that Spencer Fano has fits him really well and would allow him to get on the move a lot, get out into space, climb, and he can play either guard or right tackle for them, which is they have needs at both. So this is where I'm going to have Spencer Fano come off the board to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, and you got Patrick Paul playing great.
He's playing
as
good
well.
football at left tackle, yeah.
So this, easiest pick of the mock, Sonny Styles. I was considering him for the Bengals, but I just think like when you whiffed so hard at linebacker and you spent so much draft capital on it last year, at least wait until the second round in this class before you try to like fix the mistake. That's just what I would do. But all right, 13 for the Rams. So,
well, this is me, dude. This is me.
Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry.
The Rams, yeah. So tackle and corner are the two here. Do I feel good about any tackle? No.
Mm-mm. What about Monroe Freeling?
So I feel good about Freeling as like a back end of the first round guy. I still think there's a lot of technical deficiencies in his game, but like I love the trades. I'm looking corner. I mean, if we're going off of my board, I would say Colton Hood. I'm gonna go off of kind of what I anticipate, I anticipate the pre-draft process coming out, and I do think we're gonna see an Avion Terrell rise because I think he's gonna test really well, and then Mansour Delane's gonna test like a 4.53 athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna go Avion Terrell to the Rams, who is one of 13 players in this draft class that I have a first round grade on as well. So
nice. All right. Baltimore Ravens. This could be a guard team. Could we go Kenyon Sadiq here?
We could. They just re-upped Likely this year. Unless you think Likely could play more Y for Sadiq.
Well, I mean, I sort of think of Sadiq as more a guy that could play Y, but yeah, that might not be worth a first round investment. Probably, let's say they don't re-sign Travis Jones.
Mm-hmm. They already re-signed Travis.
They already did, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
So that's off the table. Man, it's, to me, I think like Ruben Bain and Mekhi Lemon are the two spots, and I'll go with Ruben Bain. I think that would be the best option. He has fallen down to my edge too. Actually, no fault of his own performance. Like I thought he had his best game since probably October, like early, first half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Really looked fully healthy this past on Thursday. So he's not like really falling for me or anything, but I do think that David Bailey's on the rise.
Me too. All right. Edge, still a need in Tampa. They love some bigger edges too. If you look at the edge rushers they've historically drafted. They also need corner pretty bad. So this for me would probably be between Delane and Keldrick Falk. Their edges are bad, dude. Like they need edge big time. They have Yaya Diaby, which is probably their best edge. I mean, outside of that, they signed Jason Pierre-Paul to their practice squad, and like giving reps to him and stuff. So like I think edge is the way to go here. And as much as I think there needs to be continued growth with Keldrick Falk, I think he fits their mold, and I think he can condense down for them and give them snaps inside too, and be a decent football player for them. So I'm going to go Keldrick Falk to the Buccaneers at 15.
Jets at 16. I say we pair new quarterback with a new receiver. take Mekhi Lemon. He's sticking out like a sore thumb at the top of my board for a while now.
All right, the Lions need to replace Taylor Decker at left tackle. Don't feel great about that. I think they're actually going to resign Al-Qadim Muhammad opposite Aiden Hutchinson because he played good football for them this year. So I don't know if first round edge is necessarily on the board for them, and I don't see an edge here that I'd want to take in the first round anyway. They need a center to replace Ragnow. Again, I don't feel great about any of the centers in the class. Moe Noah kind of feels like a Detroit Lion ass kicker. But again, do they kick Penei Sewell back to the left side then, where he played in college? He's only played right tackle in the NFL. Tristan Wirfs did it this late into his career, where the Buccaneers kicked him back over to left, and he's playing well there. So maybe the Lions do the same thing with Penei Sewell here, and we stick Francis Moe Noah at right tackle. He feels like a Detroit Lion kind of player. Does he not? Yeah, I just think let's go with this. And then again, he can fail inside to guard. And again, I don't know if they're going to stick with like a Christian Mahogany at guard moving forward either. So if he fails inside to guard, he fails inside to guard. CC Moe Noah, Lions.
All right. 18, the Vikings are going to pick Caleb Downs, replace Harrison Smith, who seems like he's going to retire.
Yep.
2 forced fumbles against Miami that
neither of them recovered.
Yeah. Both of them recovered by Miami. So he's not going to get like broad attention for that, but it was a pretty nice performance.
It was. Carolina Panthers. I think they like their 2 young edges enough not to take an edge first round. Like they just drafted Uman Mielen and Scorton second round last year, both of them in the second round. They could pair somebody with Derek Brown along the interior. So like this could be a Caleb Banks spot because Caleb Banks can play some big end for you too and kick out. I think that Caleb Banks could be a decent fit here. I think it's too early for Josiah Trotter. I would consider Josiah Trotter here, but I think it's a little bit too early for Josiah Trotter. I always draft him a corner because they're consistently playing Mike Jackson opposite JC Horn. That's probably what I ended up doing here and just sending them Mansour Delane to the Panthers.
All right, so that kicks the Cowboys' urgency up to get a corner. You took Avion Terrell already, correct?
I did. The remaining corners are
perfect. I'll take Colton Hood.
Okay.
Colton Hood, I think best corner at the line of scrimmage at the top of this class, probably. It's hard to really get any speed in your routes when he's in press, but not as fluid changing directions.
Yeah, agreed. All right, Steelers. The Steelers fans are keep getting mad at me for drafting them a quarterback, so I'll pass on the Ty Simpson thing this time around. They're actually getting some pretty decent play out of Dylan Cook at left tackle. Like I like they might let him start at left tackle next year. A corner again here opposite of Joey Porter Jr. might be a decent fit. They just drafted Derek Harmon, so not defensive tackle. I don't love the edge rushers here. Denzel Boston doesn't fit the kind of receiver they need, but receiver would be a decent look here for them. But these receivers are not what I would draft. I go, ooh, hold on. Hold the phone.
Whoa.
Hold the phone. DK Metcalf at X. Casey Concepcion at Z. That sounds kind of fun to me. Like Roman Wilson's not getting snaps. Right now they're trotting out like Scotty Miller at Z. And Adam Thielen. So like I think this is a good look here. I think we're gonna go Casey Concepcion to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's a great fit. All right, Chargers. This in prior episodes would have been an Emmanuel Pregnon pick. I have not been blown away by his tape to end the season, so I'm gonna go with Vega. Consensus guard one. I'm falling back to consensus there.
All right, Eagles. We keep drafting the wide receivers. They probably still could because they needed a wide receiver 3. But wide receiver 3s, you could probably find one on the market too. I tend to think that we're nearing the end of the Dallas Goedert line here, and I don't think Grant Calcaterra is your answer either. So I think the Eagles here would be a pretty decent Kenyon Sadiq fit. Yeah, we're gonna go Kenyon Sadiq. I don't see a defensive tackle. I mean, maybe they like Caden Proctor as a guard. I don't necessarily think I would. They just drafted Kenyon Sadiq or Brandon Cisse opposite Quinyon Mitchell.
Sadiq.
Okay, let's go Sadiq. Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah,
There
I
you
just
go.
think Sadiq is like a way better prospect.
You used to love. What happened with your Brandon Cisse love?
Well, I like him more than you, but I like him more than you, less than PFF.
Okay.
So yeah. Unfortunate that you took KC Conception because now there are no receivers that I would take at 24 that have speed.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, I can't do Denzel Boston to the Bills after the Keon Coleman thing.
Yeah.
And I think Boston is a way like I did not like Coleman. I think Boston is way better as a prospect, by the way. But this could potentially be my highest graded player available besides Jeremiah Love is actually Dylan Thieneman.
Interesting.
But they've got Cole Bishop. They've got they still have Jordan Poyer, right?
The ghost of him, yes.
Yeah. Let's go Thieneman.
Oh, okay.
Jersey's gonna go triple platinum at frat parties, but get the duo going there.
All right, Chicago Bears. I think they could go edge. They could also go defensive tackle. Again, the edges we're talking about here at the top of the board are not guys I would draft in the first round. The question is, do they go another gap shooty defensive tackle like Gervin Dexter that they currently have and a Caleb Banks, or do they go with a bulky nose like Cade McDonald? They have Andrew Billings. What's Andrew Billings? Actually, what's Andrew Billings' contract situation? Because I know they've been getting really good play out of Andrew Billings. He is an unrestricted free agent after the season, and he is 30 years old. How has Andrew Billings been playing this year? Like, is he an extension candidate, and they just free up their nose tackle for cheap? Because if so, we're not going to draft one in the first round. He has been bad this year, very bad this year. Okay, we are going to go Cade McDonald to the Chicago Bears, replace Andrew Billings.
So where are you at on Chris Bell as far as the injury? Because for me personally, like an ACL, it's like I have a hard time. I still think go Chris Bell. Like the difference in explosiveness that you're getting on the outside or in the slot, compared to the other options.
He'll be back in 8 months. Is kind of how I feel about ACLs
so
now.
unfortunate. Yeah. Let's go Chris Bell.
Bang. All right, Houston Texans. Texans fans are going to hate me for this, but it's best player on the board. Take some pressure off that passing game, and I like their receivers a lot. I think their passing game is pretty good. I know you could go offensive line here. You always can with the Texans, but right now they're trotting out the skeleton of Nick Chubb and Woody Marks in their running back room. So like, if we're talking 27th overall, this is essentially the same value as a second round pick. Let's take Jeremiah Love to the Houston Texans.
He's probably going to, I mean, I assume he goes earlier than this.
I think so too. Yeah.
But yeah, running back is the kind of thing where it's like if one team passes on you, then it can kind of snowball, I guess. So Browns, this is a good spot to take Denzel Boston, I think. Or unless no, did I take it? Who did I take it?
Caleb Lomu.
I did Caleb Lomu. Yeah, let's do Denzel Boston. We'll go cornerstones at two critical spots on offense.
I'm fine with Denzel Boston at 28. Like right now, he is. Where's he on my board? He's 31 on my board. So yeah, that's good value for Denzel Boston, I think, to the Browns there, who desperately need some talent outside there at wide receiver. So Los Angeles Rams, we went with, I believe, a corner Davion Terrell at 13. So 29 here. We're probably looking offensive tackle. This is where you can start talking me into some of these guys. Rob Havenstein replacement and Blake Miller, I think would be a fine pick here. I know PFF's a little bit lower on his grade on the board here. I think by the time it's all said and done, Blake Miller's going first round. Like, he's going to test really well. He's going to have a fun all-star circuit, unless he just gets completely whooped through his chest in one-on-ones in Mobile, which I assume he's going to. I have a hard time thinking that in a league that desperately needs offensive tackles, a guy who moves like that's not going to go in the first round. I just, in this class particularly as well.
Yeah.
However, I think that you could make an argument that, like, kicking Caden Proctor into guard, which I've heard back that he's getting 50-50 guard tackle feedback from the NFL, by the way. I think he'd be a fun guard, but the Rams have a pretty decent interior.
He got
Let's go.
Mikhail Kamara, or not Mikhail Kamara, beat him on an inside move, like bad in the
you gotta.
Bama, and Kamara is like not twitchy.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go Blake Miller here to the Rams. Replace Rob Havenstein with Blake Miller here, 29 to the Rams.
My guy. All right. New England Patriots. Man, I really want to sneak Lee Hunter into the first round, but I don't know if I can swing that here.
Over Caleb Banks?
I wouldn't do it. I feel like
he's explosive.
Teams are going to flip on that playoff tape. Like the first thing that every GM, scout, coach, etc. is going to see when they watch Lee Hunter, like, that hasn't been, watching film up to this point, is going to be like the, fifth play of that Oregon game where he yanks the center, just uproots him, sends him flying 5 yards downfield. One of the most dominant individual nose tackle reps of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But for the Patriots, I think edge would be definitely much more of a need. I'm going to go Mateo Uyunglele. Developed into a lot more of a well-rounded player this year, winning with power more, setting a firm edge. Really good game against Texas Tech, so I'll go with Mateo.
Interesting. There's some feedback he might go back to school as well, so that he's getting kind of predominantly day 2 feedback. But again, a 30th overall pick is the same value as an early second round pick, so I don't see any concern here. What do the Broncos do? I know what I'm doing here, actually. Let me just double check their depth chart and make sure I'm not doing something really stupid here. But I think that this would be an excellent Josiah Trotter landing spot. Again, Drake Greenlaw, like, are they fed up with the antics there with Greenlaw a little bit? Alex Singleton, I know they've kind of stood by him through the cancer stuff and things like that too. I think this is a good place to insert Josiah Trotter into the conversation to the Denver Broncos, upgrade that second level, get a little bit younger, and add an enforcer, a legitimate thumper into the middle of that defense. So, seems like a Vance Joseph guy, seems like a Sean Payton guy.
So Gray's able, playing great football, still need to replace Anthony Bradford. Is it? Wait, the Seahawks are here at 32, right? I can't see it.
Yes, they are. Yes,
Okay.
they are.
Could go with a safety. Can you pull up safety for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The safety.
Okay, wow. I'm way off on these rankings. Okay, never mind. I think Emmanuel McNeil-Warren has a chance to go day one. Your guy, Genesis Smith. Like, do you think he could be in play here? I'm
he's 33 on my board.
behind on his tape. So
he is 33 on my board. He is not a great tackler, but he is a single high, and I don't know if I give a crap about how well a single high tackles.
I'm gonna take Genesis Smith just to give him some pub here. I know, like, this is more of a you endorsement, but I watched him like first half of the season. I loved his tape, so I don't doubt you at all. But
ungodly rangy and explosive.
Yeah,
like, he's fun. All right, so
Arizona's got like some freak athletes at DB.
Yes, they do. All right, I'm not gonna read through every pick. Not gonna read through every single dude. Okay, before we go off, because you mentioned Arizona's defensive backs, there's a little dude named Dalton Johnson at number 43. I have not heard anybody talk about him. He was a senior, and I was watching Genesis Smith today, and this dude was all over the field. So I might need to go back and watch Dalton
Yeah.
Johnson.
Okay, I'm glad you pointed that out. I will make sure to keep an eye on him when I go back through Arizona defense. But I saw he accepted. I just added him to my list because he accepted a Shrine Bowl invite. So I added him to my
Really?
list a couple days ago.
Oh, yeah, he's all over the place every time I'm watching Arizona defensive film.
Yeah, so I'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, so instead of going through every pick here, let's just skip straight to best fit. James, what's your favorite fit here?
So I'm gonna say Cowboys, Colton Hood, probably my favorite fit. Like they just need somebody that can beat guys up at the line of scrimmage, run with them down the field. I would also say Caleb Lomu to the Browns. Love that, even though it might be a bit of a reach. Like every pick in this class, and at least in the first round is going to be.
I got brain freeze at 3, so yeah, I just think that Lomu's gonna have a really excellent pre-draft process. His valuation's all over the map. Apparently, he has like some 4th round grades, some 1st round grades, some like all over the map. So I don't know, man. Again, I like the athletic traits, and I think his best football is still ahead of him. I would say, I mean, obviously, Sonny Styles to the Cowboys is a pretty easy one to love.
I just realized I chose all of my picks.
I don't care. Yeah, that's fine with me.
I do like Casey Conception to the Steelers.
That is nice. That is nice. CeCe Moionota to the Lions. Again, if they can figure out a way to do like the Tristan Wirfs thing that the Bucks did, right? Where this late into his career is like, yeah, I'll go play right tackle. That's fine. Or left tackle. That's fine. So if that we have a similar situation with like Penei Sewell, who has the athletic traits to do it and has like that's all he played in college was left tackle. So, and then let me see here. Let me throw out one more here from this. I mean, I really like Josiah Trotter of the Broncos too, but I'll find one of yours that I really like. I think Chris Bell to the Niners is an easy fit as well. Like that's an easy fit for the routes that Bell wins on versus the kind of receiver that San Francisco desperately needs now. So, yeah, I'll go with that. All right, James. You got anything else here before we get out of here?
That's all I got. Excited to preview these games tomorrow.
Yeah. As a Browns fan, I guess I should say as a Browns fan, like I'm hoping the Jaguars lose, wild card weekend here. The highest they can get is like 24th overall. But as a Browns fan, let's just bump us up 4 slots here. Jacksonville, blow it, please. I think like FanDuel has them like 1.5 underdogs to the Bills, but whatever. Blow it, please. Please. 24th compared to 28. I'll take what I can get. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of the Daft on Draft podcast. As always, we will keep going on here. 3 more episodes this week. And then, again, we're prepping for some fun content at Shrine Bowl. So keep your eyes peeled to the YouTube channel. We'll probably try to post on social stuff like that too. But until next time, this has been another episode of the Daft on Draft podcast.